data and, records, reports in Nigeria. But one of the things I also know that comes with the Yuletide season is pressure. There's always a lot of pressure during the Yuletide season. During Christmas season, the New Year's coming, there's a lot of pressure. Oftentimes in homes, there's quite a lot of pressure. Also because our children are home. Yesterday, I was trying to work from home. My youngest is already on holiday. So that was a bit of a catastrophe. Because obviously it's, Mommy, can you come and see this? Mommy, can you come and see that? It was really, really tough. I work from home some days in a week. And obviously, it's bliss when they've all gone to school and you're home alone and you're trying to get work done. You get a lot of work done. But obviously, with children back home, it's a lot of pressure. They eat more. They're eating a lot more. They're asking for a snack every 2 seconds. Normally they will take food to school, but when they're home, it feels like they eat 5 times a day and then they eat like 5 snacks. So they eat about 10 times a day. All right, so if you understand what I mean, if you're a guardian, you definitely know what I mean. They eat more during the holiday because they're home, they're bored, especially if now NEPA takes light. So they don't have anything to watch. When they're watching TV, at least you can trust that for a few hours, they're not asking you for, this. But when there's no light, they're opening the fridge 1,001 times, they're eating more, they're asking you, let's go there, let's go here, let's go and do something fun. This is the time when obviously you're thinking about Christmas gifts for them. You don't want them to feel inferior and feel bad as their friends set up trees and they have Christmas, presents underneath those trees. You don't want your children to feel bad. So I'm listing all these things that happen during this time of the year because we like to glamorize the holidays. We like to glamorize the Christmas season. It's beautiful. Oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year, but also is the time of the year that brings most pressure. I'm going somewhere. Stay with me. It's the time of the year that brings pressure. Also to a lot of couples. You're spending a lot more time on holiday. You're spending a lot more time together at home as opposed to everyone's going to work. So, you see less of each other's flaws. But during this time, the children are home asking for one thing or the other. They're asking to go to this amusement park, go to that mall, go to this. You're spending more money. The children are eating more. You want to buy Christmas clothes. You want to eat something different, this season. So you want to obviously buy chicken. Maybe it's not something you eat. You don't want to eat fish. All of this pressure mounts up, accumulates, and then you start to realize the bottle top. When you shake a soft drink, a fizzy drink, the pressure amounts to the top. One day the bottle top will open and then everything just goes all over the place. Today we're going to have another uncomfortable conversation, and this one is domestic violence, especially during this Yuletide season. And apparently it's rife during this time because of all of those things I've listed. You are not earning that much. The economy, everything's doubled in price. Yet your children still want to eat 10,000 snacks a day and eat 5,000 times in the morning. So this pressure, mounts on parents, especially the breadwinners, which is oftentimes the fathers. Mothers, a lot of women breadwinners as well. And even that in itself, in this patriarchal world that we're in, mounts a lot of pressure on men. Your wife is the one bringing more of the money. It mounts a lot of pressure. So we're going to look at domestic violence, its effects during this time, the Yuletide season. Yes, it's a wonderful time of the year. It's a beautiful season, but it comes with its pressure. And so we're going to talk about this. I'm going to have on my a psychiatrist who's going to be having a chat with me about this today. Her name is Dr. Onafuwa, and she's a psychiatrist, assistant director of finance at Asido Foundation. We're going to have this conversation with her in a moment. All right, so I'm going to call her up real quickly. And then she's going to talk to us about the effects of domestic violence. Oftentimes people, say that this thing is spiritual. People say that, it's something that's a mental disorder. And oftentimes I feel like people are trying to use those things as an excuse. Hello, Dr. Onafuwa. Good to have you here this morning. Dr. Onafuwa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Good morning. Good to have you here today.
My pleasure, too.
Thank you very much for joining me. I don't know if you heard my intro, but I talked about how, this season of the year, the Christmas season, New Year coming, is often glamorized as the most wonderful time of the year, but oftentimes it also comes with its pressure. so many things happen. The children are on holiday, they have expectations, they have needs. You want to do certain things differently from how you do in the beginning of the year. And oftentimes this pressure, makes it happen that quite a lot of homes, start to experience certain things. So I'm glad that I'm here with you today to talk about domestic violence and its effects. Because apparently, in obviously we don't have the correct data for Nigeria, but in other countries, these are times when domestic violence cases, sort of are rife. Why do you think that is? Apart from some of the things I've already mentioned, Dr. Onafuwa.
Okay, thank you. That will happen just the way you said it. The pressure of trying to meet some of our demands, the pressure of this is the last miracle, this year must not pass. At times we do beyond what we have the opportunity to do. The society is such that you want some form of showcasing also to show that the year has been fine. You want to give bumpers to people. You want to do one or the other. Some people, this is the month when they would renew their house rent.
True.
So all these things are quite they are quite enormous, and we don't have the enough resources to actually take care of these things. It could become excessive stress and might be unhealthy for our mental health. All
right. So, well, Dr. Onafuwa, a lot of people, say domestic violence is those who are violent against their partners or generally in homes, people who have mental disorders. Some people even say it's a spiritual thing. Do you think that these are just excuses and that somebody who is obviously beating a significant other knows what they're doing? Or is this something that can be attributed to a mental disorder?
Well, not all cases are as a result of mental disorders. Some may have underlying mental disorders, and then when they are under a lot of pressure, they might have a relapse of their mental disorder, and then which might result into some other things. But not everyone has a background mental health challenge. Some are even newly developing, and then they are portraying in some form of unusual behavior, and some don't even have any background mental disorder. So we should not always tie it to it's a mental illness that is making someone behave abnormally or behave in an unusual way. No, sometimes it's a discipline, sometimes it's because we don't have policies against some of this behavior.
Exactly.
So we are not sitting up. So nobody should paint the picture of it's a mental health. There are a lot of people with mental health disorders and are living fine. They are taking care of themselves, and they are not engaging in any form of violence domestically or outside. So I wouldn't agree that it's all mental health problems.
Right.
No.
So how do we determine, for example, is it obviously when you see a doctor and then it's clinically diagnosed that somebody who's domestically violent, for example, how do you determine when it's somebody who's just not disciplined, somebody who has ego problems, somebody who obviously is just a violent person as opposed to somebody who has a mental disorder? How do you determine?
Okay, I would say that if there's violence, let's say in the home, the next thing is not for you to just drag the person and say, hey, let me drag you to Dr. Onafuwa.
Yes.
Within ourselves, we can critically look at it. What's happening? Sometimes you may realize that it's just financial pressure, and if you can just reason with the man or reason with the woman and assist with some chores, the pressure will lessen and everything normalizes in the home. But once you see violence, I would say most of the times mental health problems will not occur in isolation. Let me give an example. If someone has malaria, the person is unlikely to have just fever. The person will likely have maybe fever and headache and poor appetite and generalized feeling of body weakness, some body pain. So it won't just be an isolated symptom.
Right.
And that's the way it is with mental health problems too. Right. So if we are seeing violence, let's look closely. Is this violence associated with any other thing that we ourselves think, okay, this might be this might be mental illness, then we can take the person to the hospital for assessment, even just take to a general doctor. If the general doctor feels, oh, this is looking like a mental illness, let's refer to a psychiatrist, then they will do that appropriately.
Right.
But it's not like the first thing, I believe the first thing is self-help. Look at things critically, do a reappraisal. What's the problem here? What do we need to do to bring about a change? Then if it's illness, you may not be able to do anything. And that is at that point that you'll say, okay, let's consult a mental health professional.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Onafuwa. For those who are just joining us, I'm talking to Dr. Onafuwa. And of course, we're talking about domestic violence and its effects, especially during this Yuletide season. Dr. Toyosi Onafuwa is a psychiatrist. She's the Assistant Director of Finance at Asido Foundation. Now, when it comes to domestic violence, a lot of people just think, oh, it's a person that has been hit. There are a lot more casualties when we talk about domestic violence. Who are those that are involved? Can we mention, Dr. Onafuwa, who are those that are most affected when we have issues of domestic violence?
Well, I would say that everybody is involved. That's what I would say, because usually they'll say, okay, more of women. Some women are actually perpetrators of domestic violence themselves. The only thing is there's always a power play in every issue of violence. So there's someone who is domineering or who has a greater power and there's another person who is vulnerable. So in cases of domestic violence, whosoever is vulnerable at that point is going to be at the receiving end. If it's a child, if it's the woman, who it's so it depends on the side of the power play. So to some people, the power is to the woman, and then the man is at the receiving end. It's just that looking at it generally, women, children, females generally are more vulnerable than men, and they are often at the receiving end when it comes to domestic violence.
Absolutely. And what are the effects? I mean, especially on children, on women, or even men who are, victims of domestic violence. For those who are listening, for example, you think, oh, it's just, physical bruises, so, but there is obviously deeper than that, especially from the psychiatrist's point of view. What are the effects and what are the things that people can look out for?
Okay, the effects are enormous. You've started by saying bruises. That's physical. You can have maybe sexual and reproductive health effects. You can have mental health effects. You started by saying bruises. Some have more than bruises. Some have fractures. Some have end injuries. I mean, terrible, terrible injuries. Some injuries have even led to death. And some have sexual and reproductive problems, unwanted pregnancies, STIs, HIV, AIDS, and all that. And then to the mental health problems, it could vary depending on the individual, the circumstances, and so many things. Anxiety disorder is there, depression is there, post-traumatic stress disorder. Some take to substance abuse because of the violence that they are experiencing, the stress, they are having a maladaptive way of coping. They don't know what to do, so they take to substance. Some have suicidal thoughts and eventually commit suicide. We've seen instances that people are finding it difficult to cope. They have no one to talk to, and then suicide became an option for them. Difficulty with sleeping, and then for some people, it's stigma. The stigma and rejection from their family, from their community, all sorts of things could happen as a result of all this domestic violence and violence, gender-based violence in general. And what do we do when we have instances like that? The first thing is, I would say we need support. This is not something that we should keep quiet about and say, well, it's within my home, there's nothing I can do. You need support. You can handle it alone. You need to talk to somebody, people that you know will be able to support you.
And a professional? Talk to a professional?
Well, like I said earlier, I would say self-help first. Depending on the extent. If it's just gradual, maybe the first thing you need to do. There are times that parental influence will just call the person to order. The mom talks to the person, the dad talks to the person, and then calls the person to order. But if there's a need for mental health evaluation and assessment, then talking to the person alone will not call the person to the order. But I'm not looking at the perpetrator alone. I'm looking at the victim, because the perpetrator will, you'll say mental health assessment. Yes, mental health assessment for the victim, so that the person will not have depression or anxiety, or if the person already developed one, can receive treatment. But safety is important. You want to keep the person away from that ongoing stressor, ongoing problem. And that is why I said, call people around, inform someone. Safety is first before you continue to receive treatment from left or from right, from a mental health professional. Your safety first. And that is what we have to do. Either to take the person from that environment, either the perpetrator or the victim or whatever. You want to ensure that this person is safe and that stress or that problem is not ongoing. Then you now try to look at, what is happening here? And even before we get to the point of a mental health professional, I would say there's something that we are expected to do, even as individuals, even as friends, even as family members, even as neighbors.
We have a duty.
Yes, we have a duty. We have a duty of care to provide a listening ear. That's not when we're supposed to shut down the person. We've seen cases of violence. It eventually resulted in suicidal attempts because people kept shutting her down. What are you saying? Is it your own home? Can't you manage your own home? So we don't even listen. We don't even care about our own story. We just think, she's talking around. She keeps talking about her home. No, that's not the point. She needs help. She's crying out for help, and then we keep shutting her down. So as individuals, we have to provide listening ear. That's where it starts from. Then we have to ask for our needs. Okay, how can we support you? What do you think you need now? Some might tell you that I just need a job. If I'm gainfully employed, if I'm financially empowered, things will get better. I know that my husband is going through a lot of financial stress, but at least I'll be able to contribute something to the home, and that stress will reduce. Sometimes we just need to listen to their needs and then support them. Some might tell you that I just need to get out of this house first. I need to breathe.
Absolutely.
And that's not the time that you say go back to your husband's house.
Exactly.
No. And you also have to validate their feelings. If someone says, well, I felt terrible because he slapped me, who are you to say, is it not just slap? Why are you feeling terrible? That is how she feels. That is how he feels. We need to accept it. We shouldn't keep criticizing and criticizing and criticizing. That would be like a first aid, kind of, or the initial thing that we need to do for them. And that it is at that point that we now look critically, what exactly is the problem here? Do we need to invite the law enforcement agents? Do we need to see a mental health professional? What else? Then you know the next step to do.
Absolutely. Wow, phenomenal. Thank you so much, Dr. Onafuwa. I mean, you've said it all, and I'm glad that people at home have heard it. Coming from a professional, coming from a doctor, if you're a victim of domestic violence, remove yourself from that situation first. Nobody's saying divorce, because I mean, what people say, you're asking them to divorce their family, you're asking them, no, remove for your own safety, remove yourself from that situation. And, you know, I wish I had more time, because I would ask her, how does the person now know that this person is, you know, healed or clear enough for me to return, you know, to that situation? I don't know, in 1 minute, how does someone that's removed themselves from that situation of domestic violence as a victim, how do you know when to go back? Or how do you know when to trust that this person has sort of, you know, been, you know, healed, or should that healed, or will never do this again? In 1 minute, Dr. Onafuwa, because we've got to go.
No, nobody knows the heart of man.
Exactly.
The only thing we can say is it depends on what we
see, the signs, right? The signs
it depends on what the assessment of the situation is.
Right.
If we feel this is a mental illness and the person has actually started treatment, the person is better, the person would be remorseful, and then we can say, now you even need me to support your mental health so that you won't deteriorate further, or you won't deteriorate like before. And in that case, the person is safe. If you feel it's a financial stress and then is calmer, he has more money or more sources of income, you want to assume that maybe he's a changed person. But we all know that if someone truly changes, we will see some steps. You'll see the accountability, being remorse, trying to make amendments, so that will give a benefit of doubt, and then we can say, can you just try it again?
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Onafuwa, for the time sharing with us here. I'm sure that somebody there has been inspired and educated, most importantly, educated. Thank you for your time, and please have a wonderful holiday season.
And you too. Thank you.
All right. So, well, thank you very much for listening to that. That was an important yet uncomfortable conversation to have, even though a lot of us people are in denial out there. But I know that this is for people out there to know that these cases are rife during this season. Whatever it is that may be your stressor, find a way to, to step back from it. We'll be right back after this commercial break. It is still beyond the surface. Don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
This Christmas, now Maggie get the recipe. As we dey celebrate, the chop with your love, merriment, they circulate. Hey, everybody they jubilate. Enjoy the moment, no worry yourself. So merry, merry, merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
And happy, happy New Year. God go make you better. Make your chicken bigger. Merry, merry, merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Jollof, oh jollof, everything done set you, so no worry yourself. God go make you better. Make your chicken bigger. Merry, merry, merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Maggie Christmas. With Maggie, cook the difference.
Yellow, ǹjẹ́ o ti ra ìpín ìdókòwò MTN tirẹ̀ ní ọgọ́jọ ó lé mẹ́sàn-án náírà? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ìwọ ni mò ń bá wí. Ǹjẹ́ o mọ̀ wípé àǹfààní yìí yóò parí ní ọjọ́ 14 oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2021 bí? Àwọn ọ̀nà tó lè gbà láti ra ìpín ìdókòwò rẹ nìyí o, kó tó pẹ́ jù. Fún ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi tí ẹ fẹ́ràn ìrọ̀rùn, ẹ lè lọ sí wẹ́bsáìtì wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára www.mtnonline.com/po láti ra tiyín. Fún ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ wípé ẹ kò ní àkókò láti fi ṣòfò, ẹ yára láti dáńlódù áàpù ìpín ìdókòwò wa Primary Offer App lórí Google Play Store tàbí Apple App Store láti rà lórí fóònù rẹ. Ẹ rí i dájú wípé ẹ tẹ Primary Offer gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹyọ kan ṣoṣo. Fún ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ ògbóǹtarìgì níbi ètò ọrọ̀ ajé, ẹ kúkú ti mọ ohun tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe. Ẹ yára láti kàn sí oníṣòwò ìpín ìdókòwò yín tàbí ilé ìfowópamọ́ yín láti ra tiyín. Ìrìn àjò ayérayé ló wọlé dé yìí o. Má jẹ́ kó fò ọ́ ru, ra tìrẹ lónìí.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
No one can appreciate Gabriella like Isabella. No one can appreciate Peter like Paul. Just like no one can appreciate Mom like another mother.
That's why 3 Crowns Milk wants to make moms appreciate each other and give their heart out this Christmas. Just use your phone camera to scan the QR code on the 3 Crowns pack and nominate other moms that deserve amazing goodies this season. You could get amazing goodies as you nominate. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms. Happy families.
Hey ladies, don't you just hate it when people with beautiful even-toned skin refuse to tell you their secrets? They tell you all they do is drink water and mind their business. Those that finally tell you, give you a 50-step routine. I'm not saying those things don't work, but haba. Thankfully, I found the secret to maintaining glowing, even-toned skin. Lux Even Complexion combines active face ingredients with carrot oil and exfoliating beads to give your skin that beautiful glow. Lux Even Complexion for glowing, fragrant skin. Now available in stores near you.
They say life is not a bed of roses. Some people believe that it's just like a pendulum that swings back and forth and you never know which side you find yourself at each of its stages. Sincerely, no one can deny this basic truth about life, as it is not always smiling at you. But the entire management and staff of Danak Supermarkets has got a message of hope for you. Life is good. Life is what you make of it. Life is how you live it. Life is how you see it. We wish you all the good things and pleasures of life, and that you always have a reason to smile every single day you wake up, from the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun.
Season's greetings from Danac Supermarket, Pharmaceuticals and Cosmetics.
Today is a good day. A good day to take a walk. A good day to reach for your goals. A good day to finish reading that book. A good day to connect with your friends while doing the things you love. A good day to shoot your shot. A good day to enjoy life to the fullest with Malta Guinness.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
Àríkẹ́, ojú rẹ̀ ṣe akọrẹ lọ báyìí.
Bọ̀dá wà sún ewé fún mi lè oje, alọ́jà òya.
Ọjà àyà bíi ti bó, ó túmọ̀ sí pé ọmọ lo Mama ATM sọ̀bù ẹnu.
Bọ̀dá wà sí ìwé dákun, ewu tún ni Mama ATM POS.
Mama ATM ní gbogbo ntajà tó ní sọ̀bù ń lò báyìí. Ìwọ wo Sadé tó ní sọ̀bù nísàlẹ̀ ọjà lọ́hùn-ún. Gbogbo ìgbà làwọn ń bára máa ń wo sọ̀bù rẹ̀ tọ́jà rẹ̀ sì ń yá kíákíá. Torí wípé ń lo Mama ATM POS. Ìyẹn nìkan kọ́, àwọn ń bára tó bá tó ara nǹkan lẹ́yìn dòdò ń sọ̀bù rẹ̀ àtúmọ̀ ara research card. Eléyìí tó tẹ̀ jáde lórí Mama ATM POS. Àwọn ń bára máa ń gbowó lórí Mama ATM POS machine. Wọ́n á tún fi owó sórí decoder DSTV, GoTV àti StarTime lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀. Sọ ti wá mọ ìdí tí sọ́ọ̀bù Sadé fi gba ìbúbọ̀ ládùúgbò báyìí tó sì jẹ́ pé kò ṣe mọ́wọ́ ní gbogbo ń bára rẹ̀. Ọ̀jẹ̀ yára tètè lọ gba Mama ATM POS. Káwọn ń bára rẹ̀ mọ ìyá ń kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí.
Ó ní ṣe wá gba Mama ATM POS machine.
Kàn sí Mama ATM ní nàbà 6A Ọ̀lànìyàn Fagbemi Street off Mobile Bus Stop lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ for Real Event Center Ìyàgànkú GRA Ìbàdàn. Nílùú Èkó Suite 18 Aláùsá Shopping Mall Ìkẹjà 0809 950 0554. Mama ATM gba owó pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
Omo, it's so easy to learn anything today. That's how my little niece of yesterday tied my gele for me like a pro. When I asked her who taught her, she just gave me her phone to watch a video. Now, I can tie my own gele. Plus, I'm also learning how to prepare fisherman's soup.
With MTN's reliable internet and countless learning videos on YouTube, learning how to prepare ofinsala is just one of the things you can learn online. Get up to 7 hours of free streaming on YouTube when you buy data plans from MTN. Dial *131# to get started.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Arenax Plus ní orúkọ tó yẹ kó o rántí ní ìgbàkúùgbà tí o bá fẹ́ rí ara rẹ tí o sì nílò láti lo oògùn ibà lọ́nà tó rọrùn. Arenax Plus ní oògùn ibà tá a ṣe pẹ̀lú èròjà Artemether àti lumefantrine tí yóò lé àìsàn ibà dànù kúrò láàgọ́ ara rẹ ní kíákíá láìsí ìnira kankan. Ó dára fún ọmọdé àti àgbàlagbà. Arenax Plus ṣá àìsàn ibà balẹ̀ kó wómúwómú.
Tí kò bá sí àyípadà lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, kàn sí dókítà rẹ.
Arenax Plus ó wà káàkiri àwọn ilé ìtajà òògùn tó súnmọ́ yín. Oògùn ibà gidi tó yàtọ̀ láti ilé iṣẹ́ Swift.
Devon Kings, Christmas and Jollof, Oshala, the shot, Christmas and Jollof, all is quite very sure. Christmas and Jollof, Kings of the season, Kings of the season, Kings of the season, seasoning kill, Kings so easy. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Enjoy the taste that binds with Devon Kings.
Bode, now what do you find for kitchen?
My dear, now spoon to drink off medicine.
Honey, take comics. Just here, drink and get relief.
Yes, so summer comics for scratch throat. Comics get dextromethorphan and guanfacine. Just here, drink and get relief from cough. Ide kulele to drink.
Are they relief now? I love comics.
Now, Orange Drugs Limited, they distribute comics. Products will make you drowsy. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Comics, Ide kulele.
Every day you make many different choices. And with each choice you make, your start defines your finish. So, start strong, start bold, start bright. And with Nescafe, you can also start with a win. To participate, simply buy the Nescafe Original 3-in-1 sachet with the 70 Naira price mark and save the empty sachet after making your favorite cup of coffee. Submit 8 empty sachets to get a scratch card at any of our redemption centers nationwide. Scratch the card to review your unique code. Dial *566 *77 *5# and follow the instructions to stand a chance to win amazing prizes. From airtime to various cash prizes of up to 200,000 Naira. Get off to a strong start with that big win. And remember, It all starts with a Nescafe. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the time of the year. Come, let's chill together. Pop Chivita, make we jolly. Ooh, yeah. All over Naija, anywhere you day. Share Chivita with your family and friends. Enjoy this Christmas. Oh, 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 oh. Chivita season. Oh, oh, oh. Feel this Christmas. Oh, oh, oh. Let's celebrate with Chivita. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah, make we celebrate the life. No, they don't know waste my time. I go enjoy myself with tire. Plenty food to try. Chivita juice with the vibe. Oh, yeah, make we chill, yo. Enjoy this Christmas. Let's celebrate with Chivita. Ooh, yeah.
Juice up this season with the special Chivita Christmas packs available in stores near you.
Yellow, ǹjẹ́ o ti ra ìpín ìdókòwò MTN tirẹ̀ ní $109? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ìwọ ni mò ń bá wí. Ǹjẹ́ o mọ̀ wípé àǹfààní yìí yóò parí ní ọjọ́ 14 oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2021 bí? Àwọn ọ̀nà tó lè gbà láti ra ìpín ìdókòwò rẹ nìyí o kó tó pẹ́ jù. Fún ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi tí ẹ fẹ́ràn ìrọ̀rùn, ẹ lè lọ sí wẹ́bsáìtì wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára www.mtnonline.com/po láti ra tiyín. Fún ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ wípé ẹ kò ní àkókò láti fi ṣòfò, ẹ yára láti dáńlódù áàpù ìpín ìdókòwò wa Primary Offer App lórí Google Play Store tàbí Apple App Store láti rà á lórí fóònù rẹ. Ẹ rí i dájú wípé ẹ tẹ Primary Offer gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹyọ kan ṣoṣo. Fún ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ ògbóǹtarìgì níbi ètò ọrọ̀ ajé, ẹ kúkú ti mọ ohun tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe. Ẹ yára láti kàn sí oníṣòwò ìpín ìdókòwò yín tàbí ilé ìfowópamọ́ yín láti ra tiyín. Ìrìn àjò ayérayé ló wọlé dé yìí o. Má jẹ́ kó fò ọ́ ru. Ra tìrẹ lónìí.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Imagine the joy will fill your body when you born new baby. Imagine the happiness will surround you when you hear say, them don't born your first grand pikin. Now, can't imagine how your mind go dey cool. When you know say mama and pikin they enjoy better night sleep. Oh yes, that na the ogbonge assurance you get when you know say Vitafoam get the correct mattress when go fit your body type. No buy any kind of mattress oh. Buy Vitafoam mattress when they make to match your body type from any of we correct dealer nationwide or see us on top internet for www.vitafoamng.com. Make you buy your mattress today. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Omo, it's so easy to learn anything today. That's how my little niece of yesterday tied my gele for me like a pro. When I asked her who taught her, she just gave me her phone to watch a video. Now I can tie my own gele. Plus, I'm also learning how to prepare fisherman's soup.
With MTN's reliable internet and countless learning videos on YouTube, learning how to prepare ofinsala is just one of the things you can learn online. Get up to 7 hours of free streaming on YouTube when you buy data plans from MTN. Dial *131# to get started.
Everywhere you go, MTN. Àríkẹ́ ojú rẹ̀ ṣe akọrẹ lọ báyìí.
Bọ̀dá wà sún ewé fún mi lè oje. Alọ́jà òya.
Ọjà àyà bíi ti bó. Ó túmọ̀ sí pé ọmọ lo Mama ATM mọ́sọ̀bù rẹ nù.
Bọ̀dá wà sí ìwé dákun. Ewu tún ni Mama ATM POS.
Mama ATM ní gbogbo ntajà tó ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù ń lò báyìí. Ìwọ wo Sadé tó ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù nísàlẹ̀ ọjà lọ́hùn. Gbogbo gbala ń bára máa ń wo ṣọ́ọ̀bù rẹ̀ tọ́jà rẹ̀ sì ń yá kíákíá. Torí wípé ń lo Mama ATM POS. Èèyàn nìkan kọ́ àwọn ń bára tó bá tó ara nǹkan lẹ́yìn dòdò ṣọ́ọ̀bù rẹ̀ àtúmọ̀ ara research card. Eléyìí tó tẹ̀ jáde lórí Mama ATM POS. Àwọn ń bára máa ń gbowó lórí Mama ATM POS machine. Wọ́n á tún fi owó sórí decoder DSTV, GoTV àti StarTime lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀. Sọ ti wá mọ̀dé fi gba ìbúbọ̀ ládùúgbò báyìí tó sì jẹ́ pé kò ṣe mọ́wọ́ ní gbogbo ń bára rẹ̀. Ọ̀jẹ̀ yára tètè lọ gba Mama ATM POS. Káwọn ń bára rẹ̀ mọ ìyá ń kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí.
Ó ní ṣe wá gba Mama ATM POS machine.
Kàn sí Mama ATM.
Yes, so it's your boy Onafuwa and I'm back on the street to tell people to sing along to Eleko by Mayoko. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Pardon?
Sorry, we go put it down.
It's supposed to be Aruwe. It's supposed to be Aruwe.
Efu. Orí ìyá mi ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ebi jájọ ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
To me, Bo.
Now, I can one time.
Fatima lówó olúwa ló mọ̀. Orí ìyá mi ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ebi jájọ ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́. told me and Israel.
Silly boy.
I carry when I fire too. I carry fire you.
How?
Baby, give it to me. So his name is down.
Jesus is Lord.
Come on,
It's okay. It's okay.
This is another episode of Splash on the Streets, where we ask the people of Ibadan interesting questions. You want to know today's zone? Let's meet on the streets. Between a car and a house.
Well, keeping safe. This is all the time we have for the morning splash. So do enjoy the rest of what is left of your morning. Make sure you have some breakfast and have a great time. All right. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Till I'm back your way. Enjoy and God bless.
Splash FM 105.5.
Which would you prefer to get first?
I'll go for house now.
Why?
Because it's more durable and it keeps